Hello and a warm welcome to you all, and thank you for joining our ArchivalOne webinar, Archival Evolution in the Digital Age, Organize, Digitize, Publicize. My name's Paul Marks. I'm the Marketing Manager here at ArchivalOne and PastView, and I'll be your host for today's webinar session. And of course, I'm joined today by Brandon Werts, Assistant Director of Archives at History Associates Incorporated, Danny Harbison, Vice President and Partner at National Office Systems, and Casper Smithson, Chief Operating Officer at PastView, who will each break down the different stages and services of our ultimate all-in-one archivist solution. So, who and what is ArchivalOne? Well, when archival collections require exceptional care, there's only a select few organisations that possess the expertise to review, catalogue, organise, transport and properly preserve them for study and future use. For a first-of-its-kind joint venture in complex historical preservation, we're proud to introduce a fully integrated solution designed to meet all your archival needs. Combining the expertise of three trusted industry leaders, HAI, NOS and PastView, ArchivalOne offers a seamless experience that transforms your archives into powerful, easily accessible online resources for your audience. So, if you're following us on LinkedIn, you could be in with a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. If you're not yet following, simply aim your smartphone camera at this QR code on the screen, or of course search ArchivalOne on LinkedIn. We'll be selecting the winner at random, and then we'll be in contact after the webinar to arrange delivery of the voucher to you. We have a short 1-minute overview video to watch, so let's go ahead and take a look at that now.
ArchivalOne combines over 100 years of experience from three trusted industry leaders with our seamless all-in-one solution. From detailed surveys and analysis to archival evaluation, organization and cataloging, to rich, structured metadata creation, digitization and engaging public, private, and monetized archival websites. Imagine a platform that's not just about storage, but an exhilarating gateway to your digital archives. That's what makes ArchivalOne the ultimate archivist solution. We work with you to transform archives into vibrant, accessible experiences through expert research, discovery, and user-friendly digital access solutions. Over 7,000 projects completed, 150 million documents and 50,000 audio and video files digitized, and over 1,000 access and discovery websites built. Powerful alone, stronger together. ArchivalOne, ensuring archival collections thrive in a digital world.
Okay, so ArchivalOne ensures that your
ArchivalOne combines.
So it ensures your valuable assets are not only digitized, but also made accessible in the most effective ways, whether through physical displays, online platforms, or immersive virtual galleries. I'm about to hand over to our first guest speaker, Brandon, in just a second. But once we've heard from all three speakers, we'll open it up to a Q&A session. So any questions that you might have for the guys, please send them through in the chat. And then at the end of everyone's presentations, we'll go ahead and read them out. For now, let's get things underway and kick off our first session with Brandon Werts, Assistant Director of Archives at HAI.
Thanks, Paul. History Associates has been providing archival and historical services since 1981. HAI was born from a collaborative research paper about the 3 Mile Island catastrophe that was drafted by 3 of our founding members. Since then, HAI has expanded to our current robust team of archivists, collections managers, and historians. We provide a variety of services that are custom tailored to your organization's mission and your collection's needs, ranging from historical research and exhibition projects, organizational history and storytelling, comprehensive collection assessments, surveys and inventories, collection processing and rehousing, cataloging, retention and records management, and all manner of digital archive services. HAI's goal is to work with you and your collections to reach your organization's goals. Our work focuses around 3 service lines: research and analysis, the original foundation of our business, exhibits and interpretive planning, and all manner of special projects, and the division most involved with ArchivalOne, archives and informations management. Our service lines work individually or in tandem to meet the needs of our clients. We love nothing more than a complex project that requires multiple service lines working together. HAI's Archives and Information Management team works with your organization to develop a work plan to identify, process, and prepare your collections for digitization and digital access. Whether you're augmenting physical collections with a digital component, preparing for a new exhibition, or harnessing your organization's legacy, we've got the expertise to help you achieve your goals. While every project is unique, and each requires a different approach, the full gamut of services might look something like the following. We begin with a collections assessment to familiarize ourselves with your collections. Our initial site visit is often done in tandem with representatives from NOS as a way for our teams to begin strategizing our approach to your project. HAI will send a team to your facilities to gain understanding of the collection scope, the current organization scheme, the storage methods, and the storage environment. We're no strangers to mice, pigeons, and even scorpions in the archives. We'll look at any existing collection documentation and governance policies to further understand the management of your archives. If your organization isn't in the archives business, we'll help you get a handle on the purpose of your historical collections and what materials you may want to collect to fulfill that archive's mission. With the assessment report in hand, HAI's archival team will identify the steps necessary to prepare your collections for digital access. It may be as detailed as full-level processing to as simple as metadata capture and collection packing, and we'll create a work plan to follow along the journey to your accessible digital collections. Following the roadmap laid out in the assessment report, our team of archivists and collections managers can process your collections to meet organizational and industry standards. In some cases, this means full processing, starting from a collection of disorganized cabinets, boxes, paper bags. We've sorted papers that were even packed in trash bags. We will replace your non-archival storage containers with archival sleeves, folders, and boxes to extend the life of your archival collections. HAI can help you develop an organizational scheme and sort your materials into appropriate thematic series while removing non-collection items and solidifying the collection scope. We'll ensure that the organization of the collections meets the habits and needs of your users, whether they're employees within the organization or outside researchers, to increase access as much as possible. During processing, we capture the necessary data to thoroughly describe your collections through finding aids and capture essential metadata to make them accessible on the digital platform. We can assist your organization to develop, update, and implement governance documents and procedures for healthy collections management. We can work with you to create collection development and collection management plans, retention schedules, processing and cataloging manuals, and most any tool to fit the needs of your collections and users. In our final steps to prepare your collections for digital access, HAI works with your organization's stakeholders and our digitization partners to develop a playbook that outlines the needs and requirements that will be followed throughout the digitization process. We outline specific parameters for documents, books, all manner of photographs, and audiovisual materials in order to ensure that the quality and accessibility of your digitized collections. HAI's team of archivists and collections managers can capture the necessary metadata elements to ingest with the digital surrogates after digitization. HAI's capabilities culminate with the capturing of metadata and planning for your digitization. When we've finished our work, your collections are ready for transport to our digitization partners at NOS. And much like with your collections, I pass things off now to Danny Harbison from NOS to tell you a bit more about their services.
Excellent. Thank you, Brandon. That was great. My name is Danny Harbison. I am Vice President and Partner of NOS. I'm going to quickly introduce our company and myself. I'm then going to walk through a high level of what our digitization process looks like. And then I'm going to turn it over to Casper who has, I think, the most exciting part of the presentation. So I will try not to spend too much time in the details here. So NOS has been around since 1977. We've been in business for 50 years. We've grown substantially throughout those 50 years. We were originally established as a storage provider, providing high-density filing systems to the federal government. Since then, we've grown out into other products and services. The majority of our growth has been through our technology division, which focuses on two primary areas. Number one that we're going to be talking about today is our digitization services, and the other one is an RFID asset tracking and management product, as well as services that surround that. We are now certified under the SBA's 8A program, which allows us to bring our services to more clients and partners all the way through 2033. Our clients span various markets, including corporate, legal, nonprofit sectors. What I like to think that sets us apart, other than our white glove treatment and hands-on support, is the fact that we're nimble. Our versatility and dedication to meeting the unique needs of every industry and every project is required. Most of them, there's a lot of repetition, but there's always different wrinkles in every project. So it's important to have a tailored solution to meet that. We digitize pretty much anything you can think of, paper records, documents, bound books, wide format drawings, photographs, negatives, even microfilm and microfiche. We have, next slide, please, Casper. Our mission is quite simply to preserve, protect, and transform critical records into digital usable assets, ensuring accessibility, security, and long-term value. We have a large team of production managers, scanning operators, document processing specialists, a full-time quality control group. We have a wide array of scanning hardware and professional grade digitization software. Security is going to be at the core of everything that we do. These are your records. These are your babies. These are your documents, perhaps historical in nature, and we treat them as such. Our facility is alarm monitored. We have external surveillance, robust audit trail system monitoring processes and procedures, and really going above and beyond guaranteeing that sensitive documents are protected throughout the digitization process. Let's go into what that process actually looks like. This is the execution phase. So this is when our team is really getting to work here. Brandon had touched on this earlier, but the process is going to start with what we call a scanning playbook that has been worked on and tailored, that's going to meet your specific project needs. It's the foundation of our execution. It ensures consistency, it ensures efficiency, and it ensures accuracy to all of our operators, and it's keeping everyone accountable and on the same page and sort of cohesive throughout the project. It's going to be a comprehensive guide and it's going to outline, it's essentially an SOP document. We're going to have standard operating procedures, quality control measures, deliverables, timelines. All of that is going to be captured in this scanning playbook. So by detailing all of that, all of the document handling, the scanning specifications, metadata tagging, data transfer protocols, the playbook is really going to eliminate any and all discretion and guesswork from the approach, and it's going to significantly minimize your risk and ensure a successful digitization project. The next step in our process, almost always we require this, is a proof of concept, and I would highly encourage everyone who is thinking about a digitization initiative to do a proof of concept where you're doing a small scale pilot that's going to validate the digitization execution before full production and deployment to that project. It is sort of the last catch-all measure to ensure that you're on the same page as the digitization approach. It ensures that you are, it allows us also to test workflows, fine-tune QC measures, confirm that all deliverables are meeting your expectations before we really put the pedal to the floor and go into full production on your project. It also allows an opportunity to refine any metadata structures, perhaps change data migration strategies, or anything else that may not be to what your expectations were. It allows for adjustment prior to everything being digitized. Second step is going to be the transportation or deployment, depending on your circumstances. So this is where we ensure that all materials reach our processing site securely, or alternatively, and in many instances, we're bringing our team and equipment directly to your location. So for some of the more sensitive or high security projects, this might mean deploying a team as well as hardware assets on site to handle everything directly, minimizing the movement of your sensitive documents. Once on site or at our facilities, we move into document processing and preparation. This is exactly how it sounds. It works as sort of an assembly line, so to speak. The digitization or the document prep team, they're carefully organizing, sorting, and preparing each document to ensure that the digitization process runs smoothly. It may include steps like removing staples, repairing fragile items, grouping materials for efficient handling, flagging any pages that might require special attention from the scanning operators, and so on. This is also where we're routing to different types of hardware and equipment. So if it's a mix of various media types or types of content, it's critical that each of those is identified as it's moving through the process, so it can be treated as such throughout the digitization execution, and it's being routed to the proper scanning hardware. The core of our work happens in the digitization execution and metadata capture phase. I would say that, this is probably, along with QC, this is probably the most labor intensive out of all of these. This is where we're using high resolution scanners and specialized equipment that is specific to your project. And remember that we're tying everything that we do back to that scanning playbook, those standard operating procedures. All of our team is on the same page and has that document. So everyone is moving in the same direction at the same time. As everything's being scanned, we're capturing metadata based on the specifications, and this is really where your physical records or your documents are turned into fully usable digital assets with content and structure. This is where they start to become alive, so to speak. So they're going from paper, they're becoming digital, they have information around those digital assets. That's where they really start to get some life. Finally, we handle the exporting and importing these digital files into the PastView system. This step is crucial for the client's ongoing use and engagement with their digital archive. And as I said before, it goes from sort of a static collection into a vibrant, interactive resource. So that's the process. Now I'm going to hand it back over to Casper from the PastView team, who's going to walk you through where your digitized content resides and show you just how powerful the system is for showcasing and organizing your archives. Casper?
Thanks, Danny. That's brilliant. And it's a pleasure to speak with you today and bring all of this together. As Danny mentioned, my name's Casper Smithson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at PastView, and really excited to speak with you about how PastView can elevate your digitized content once it's been organized and structured and digitized. So I just want to talk through a little bit about what PastView is, and then we'll actually jump into a live sort of demonstration and give you some examples. PastView is an online hosted platform. It enables you to be able to search your collections and bring them to life. They're the two core things that we work towards within our PastView system. Deploying the best search capabilities across the collections using different services such as text recognition or audio visual recognition, and also bringing the collections to life. So using technologies like our Book Explorer, which turns the pages of books, or our Object Viewer, which will spin objects around and explore objects in a little bit more detail. There's loads of other examples which I'll come on to, and we can walk through those as well. So PastView works in three typical ways. First of all is the public model, which is launching collections publicly, engaging either for research or public engagement. We have a lot of private modules as well. So if you're a membership organization and want to supply access to your members potentially, you can do exactly that. Or if you're a corporate organization that wants to retain the security of those documents that have been digitized, you can do so through our sort of single sign-on modules or other security, private security access modules through PastView. And finally, we also have monetized capabilities. So if you were looking to ever subscribe to magazine collections, offer digital downloads, or offer up collections through a monetized portal to potentially sustain those archives and sustain those ongoing to support your service from there. Or with some of our clients, they use a combination of all three of these and publish some collections publicly, some privately, and monetize others. So there is that compatibility as well throughout the system. So I want to just take you on a quick journey exploring how PastView is structured. We've done this through a graphic, which hopefully we can just take you through in a very timely way, just to explore how PastView works. So at the core of PastView is the collections management. There is the administrative portal that you can have users that can manage the collections, add future content, edit existing content. They're all based on roles and permissions. So if you have individuals that want to be able to have admin access to others potentially that only want read-only access. This is the collection management system, and you can build collections, you can add items, you can associate metadata and bring this together within the content management system. As well as what Danny mentioned in the digitization phase, we can also collaborate and work together to be able to ingest large volumes of data on your behalf and put those into the system alongside the metadata to make all of this content searchable. The system also has the ability to generate what we class as our services. So these come around the collection management, and these include things like type text, so your traditional OCR, which is targeted for character recognition of typed documents. We also have handwritten text, so any handwritten content would become searchable through the platform. And we've also got some exciting news on sharing some of our audio dialogue and our audio transcriptions, which make spoken word, so oral histories, videos, webinars, for example, or events that you potentially hold, keyword searchable, and we can show that in a live example. So again, at the core with the collection management, bringing those items and assets into the system, making them searchable, and then starting to do some of the exciting parts within the system outside of the services. So here we've got the examples of some handwritten and handwritten audio descriptions. On the sort of outer section of this is then how you publish or engage with your content. So we've mentioned different elements to this. You can launch publicly, privately, monetize, but there's a lot of functionality and features that make your collections engaging, make them really accessible, and make them searchable for your different audiences to be able to use that content. So for example, we have an object viewer. You can spin those objects around that have been captured but in the digitization phase as 360 objects. We've got audio visual players to be able to engage with your audio content. We have processes called related content, where you can tag individuals within your photographs and link them together into biographical information so that you can see other information about that individual. When were they born? what's their bios, and other information that relates, as well as other photographs or other documents that perhaps they've wrote or been photographed within. And what I'm going to do in terms of this, I've just missed a slide here, but yeah, so here we've got the example of the Book Explorer, so the ability to be able to turn the pages, and also the Page Explorer, which provides the option of a deep zoom tool within there. And we'll jump into this in a little bit more detail within the demonstration from there. We also have a lot of collection engagement. So depending whether you're publicly looking to publish your content, we have exhibitions, we have the ability to do advanced search, we have contribute and donation ability within the collections as well. And there's a lot more collection engagement that can be geared up for your collections from there, such as comment facilities and being able to tag and contribute to the archives to grow them as well. So this is the sort of PastView system and how that's displayed. So we have the collection management, the services, and then the advanced features to be able to showcase your collections. I'm just going to switch now to take you on to a quick tour of a couple of sites that we have and showcase some examples of these particular user cases. So in this particular case, this is the Arc magazine. It's a magazine collection spanning about 5,000 pages that have been digitized and uploaded into the PastView system. You can see here that there's the latest 3 issues are accessible only to members. So when we click onto these, you can see the page turn technology, but you're not able to access unless you click and sign in through your membership. Whereas the later issues within here are accessible to public. And therefore we can actually search and browse this content, either on an individual item level. So being able to search across the content, keyword searching, finding results, and using the loop tool to be able to see the particular sentences, London in this case, that we were searching for, or potentially actually searching across the entirety of the collection to be able to search the 5,000 pages all in one go, see the results, filter the results, and then find the extract that you were particularly after. In this particular case, we'll take a look here at the 2013 issue, June, and we can see here that the British Library in London is the reference that we were after and details within that. Now, it would be amazing if we could also make this searchable as well. So I've set quite a high bar there in terms of the next slide and next user case on the Institute of Mechanical Engineers. So this user has different collections. You can see that this is themed and designed very differently in terms of their website. So we can make these very engaging depending on your institution's history or organization's history. Within these collections, they have several different sort of featured collections, but the one in particular that I want to show you is the Council Minute collection, which again has a series of individual volumes. There is descriptions, there is metadata that we can explore onto the pages and the dates so that we can do date range searching and filter our results. But in this particular example, we just want to take a quick look at the content that's within this particular volume. We put low-res images so that they load fast, and then obviously looking at the high-res images when we go into full page. And within here, then we can actually carry out individual searches directly onto the content, not just for typed text, but also for handwritten text. So I'm just going to jump back a page here and search for Chicago. And we'll take a quick look here that you can see different results have turned up pretty quickly as well, actually. And you can see the different extracts in terms of where they are. This first example here, if we click onto that, it will flick us to page 159 of this document. And you can see there that just underneath the text here that it's actually been able to identify Chicago and highlight that particular word there across, I think there's about 25,000 pages in this collection within that. Not only that, we can actually toggle between the text and actually see all of the words that have been highlighted through the text recognition program. And this works exceptionally well, not only in your more traditional examples where you think you'd naturally find this in books and documents, but actually I'd just quite like to just take you to this particular example, which was some testing that we were doing across photographs. And actually, interestingly, Bardwell, the school, not only has this text recognition come up in the check that's been awarded to the pupils at this school here, but actually, interestingly, we found some really interesting results where the kid's jumper with the Bardwell School has been recognised as well. So there's some really interesting possibilities where this text recognition can really bring your archives to life, and again, really meet those two goals that we set out in the PastView development, which is making your collections as searchable as possible and bringing them to life. This website is one that I really like to show, and hopefully that becomes apparent in a moment. There's a photograph on here that I'm really fond of, and hopefully it just gives a quick idea of how the search works for different types of collection, and specifically around photographic archives. So within this collection, there's approximately, I think there's about just under 500,000 images within this archive. And one of the particular images within here is a photograph and part of their photographic collections. I just love this picture here. You can see that the organization of watermarks, so protecting their images, as well as being able to offer digital download. So that monetization piece and the sustainability towards their archive going forward. All of this data, the metadata and the fields here become searchable. We can do date range searching and actually pick out other words within these descriptions and titles. And we also have a wonderful related collections section that links us back into this animals section, which has got this wonderful collection of black and white photographs, again, where you can explore and browse and look into the collections further. So another really interesting photograph. Just moving on to one of the final examples that I just wanted to showcase. We work with the HSBC collection. They've had a tremendous amount of work put into actually curating their archive. So once things are put into a system and they're made searchable and they're within their collection structures and metadata exists, there's further steps that then can be done within the PastView system, such as bringing those archives to life and actually presenting them in perhaps exhibitions. So curating the stories of your organization or the histories of the brand, for example, and bringing that to life. So there's some wonderful exhibitions that they've built and curated and brought together, merging both their archives and their collections directly into exhibitions in multi-language support, and being able to then actually pull archive artifacts and items directly into the curated exhibition to be able to tell the stories and showcase the archives in a slightly different way to just browsing and searching that content, which is a really engaging and interesting way to be able to present that. There's other mechanisms that works incredibly well with the PastView system. There's the ability to do things like virtual tours. So if you have an interesting sort of space or environment that perhaps you want to sort of excite people to come to your or visit your location. And again, these are abilities to be able to digitize these items within the tour, and then actually bring those to life by actually clicking on the banknotes, for example, and actually seeing those in the archive and being able to engage with it again in a slightly different way, seeing the digitized banknotes, seeing the paintings, the photographs, the other kind of content that perhaps might show up within your virtual tours on there. And these also work with the VR goggles, which is quite interesting and something that I find really interesting, to be able to engage with archive collections in a different way, especially on a global reach. This is the Hong Kong Archive Gallery, so it gives those unable to visit an opportunity to be able to engage with the collections in a really exciting and engaging way. And one of the final things that I just quickly want to showcase, and this is a little bit of a demo that we've been working on, so it's a little bit messy, so do excuse some of the issues that might arise on this, or some of the naming conventions and things like that. But as I mentioned at the start, we're all about making archives searchable. And one of those processes is actually being able to do search directly into audio-visual collections. So whether this was audio or visual, the ability to be able to keyword exactly the same as we've done for both the typed text or the handwritten text, we can actually go now and do within PastView when content is uploaded, audio or visual, it will be automatically transcribed. And not only that, it actually moves you to that passage in the transcript, as you can see here, And if I just
I
hit
was
play,
born in a nursing.
I'm just going to mute that, but you can actually see that this is moving across the words, and it's an exceptional way to be able to engage with audio and visual content in that way. So hopefully that's given you a really quick understanding of how we can bring some of those archive collections that you have to life. It's really exciting to speak with you, and I'm going to pass back over to Paul, who's going to wrap things up.
All right, thank you, Casper. Fantastic look at our incredible PastView platform and its many features. Of course, we've now heard from all three of our guest speakers who hopefully have given you a better understanding of exactly what ArchivalOne has to offer and how it can benefit you and your organization when it comes to your archival collections. So we have a bit of time for our Q&A session. If you haven't already done so, please feel free to fire any relevant questions across in the chat messaging here, and I can read them out for our team. So I can see we've got one question sat here. So do you support clients with scoping their digitization projects for timeframes and costs? Who would like to take that one?
I'll jump in to say, yes, absolutely, we do.
Yeah. In
Okay.
fact, just to add, Paul, that's a part of the process, a critical part of the process, is helping them at least get an idea of what they're looking at and start to develop some of the scope around that, right?
Sure. I've had a couple of other questions. I think I've got three that have been sent through to me. How long does it roughly take to digitize an archival collection of documents?
Oh, that's a great question and a moving target. And the reason I say that is because every archival collection is different. It depends on the type of documents that are in question. Usually there's a mix of various types of content requiring different approaches across the board. And for instance, for an illustration purpose, if we are digitizing historical bound books, oftentimes, a lot of the books that we're digitizing are were not stored properly, or they're very old, and they have to have serious white glove treatment and handling, as well as how you're actually capturing the images. And so there are some that take a very long time to do a little bit of work. There are some that you would, as you would imagine, move along a little bit quicker. It's all going to be driven by the type of content that's being digitized. So sorry for the non-answer, but that's the best I could do.
I appreciate it. And I think we've got a question here probably for you, Casper. What language support is available for the text recognition in PastView?
Yeah, of course. So the text recognition, you don't need to select whether it's typed or handwritten. It will just work through it and process to the best it can from there. So it saves a lot of administrative processing to go through and actually detail your collections on which route to take. Within the handwritten text models, we do have several different models that are available within there. Each working on different types of documents. Business documents, quite legible, are going to be very different sort of manuscript documents and older cursive handwriting. So there's different models then to be able to select and choose. And again, we go through a testing process and look at the results and be able to kind of gauge and work with you to select suitable results from the content you have. And in answer to the question specifically, the language support at the moment, we are tested up to about 30 different languages, which is working exceptionally well. And again, you don't need to point the language specifically to the collection that you have, although if you are able to guide the system or the models that we are using with the language that is specific for that collection, then it will produce better results from the process there. But we can certainly share the language list, which we're constantly testing. And if you have any particular challenging documents or languages or are interested in the handwritten text aspect of it, we'd love to continue being challenged by those and work with you. So please do fire them across, and we're happy to run samples alongside so that we can take a look at the system a bit more with you.
Fantastic. We've had another question pop through. Thank you, Amber. Can your systems keep track of inventory? For example, we pull records and ship them off, and we have to adjust our inventory to reflect the correct amount.
So, records and ship them off, and we have to adjust our inventory. I'm not entirely following the question, but I think if it's related to, I'm assuming it's not stock inventory, it's related to the archive inventory in terms of moving and things from there, but I wasn't quite sure about the correct amount bit of the question there. But if it's relating to archival inventories, then you can use the system to be able to control like its sort of whereabouts in terms of loans or things like that, in terms of going through that on a sort of descriptive manner from there. We've also got the conversation that we were discussing earlier on with Danny as well, with the RFID and the tracking elements as well. So there's some potential integrations there to be able to control at a lot more sort of finite detail. And if it's stock sort of correct amounts and things like that, I'm not quite sure how to answer the question. So maybe we can discuss a little bit further after the webinar.
Okay, fantastic. And I can see one other question. Thank you, James. How would you onboard with a client who would like to understand an archive collections assessment?
Will you repeat that?
Sure. How would you onboard with a client who would like to understand an archive collection assessment?
Sure. That's the first step of pretty much any one of these projects is a conversation. Reaching out to us, describing your project, your goals, anything like that. For that, from that point on, it is the long journey through this entire process. Typically, we would first meet with you to understand the goals, then initiate our site visit and our assessments. During our site visits, we meet with your stakeholders, your archivists, your collections managers, whomever is involved with the project, to understand what it is you want out of this project and how you want your archives to live. And from there, that's when we start really developing the play-by-play of how this entire process would go. It's unique for everybody, but ultimately it all starts with a conversation and a discussion of how we can help you.
Okay, brilliant. I've had another question here. Thank you, Kylie. What is your approach to migration from another CMS?
Keep losing the mute button, but yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, this is where the ArchivalOne collaboration is so strong. I mean, we've got experts in their field from Brandon and their archives team. We've got our data migration and engineers at our end as well, in terms of being able to migrate your digital content. So we're actually undergoing a project currently at the moment for a client that's exactly like this, and the collaboration approach of this is working exceptionally well. So working with the experts from yourselves, working with Brandon and the team to be able to work through the data and enhance the searchability, and then being able to bring that into the PastView system. We, from a data point of view, we have data engineers that would work closely with you. We'd look at the structuring process, really getting a grasp of how to structure your data, and bringing the data in is the most complex aspect of a sort of migration from another CMS. Whether there's dependencies on other systems, whether there needs to be integrations, APIs, and so on, and what your goals are, and really interestingly to understand the current CMS's deliverables that were underperforming and why you're looking to move, so that we can make sure that we can deliver upon those and improve them going forward. So yeah, thanks for the question. That's brilliant.
Okay, I think we might just have enough time for this final question. How do we add content to the PastView platform? Do we need ArchivalOne to do it each time?
No. So there's a number of different options to be able to upload to PastView. As Danny mentioned, Danny and the team can obviously ingest and upload through controlled access there. So if it's a large digitization project and the organization we're working with potentially doesn't have the resource to upload, then there's those possibilities. And also PastView is developed to be quite hands-off from our approach. So you've got the ability to drag and drop thousands of files in one go. It's got a full upload tool within the admin interface. You've got the ability to control metadata on sort of global levels as well. So the ability to actually be able to manage your collections and move that forward each time is completely possible. Typically what we recommend is when you're sort of onboarding and larger data sets, then we work closely with the users to be able to get that sort of established structure correct. But then going forward, if you wanted to work on that and upload the content, or potentially you've got digital born content, for example, PDFs or other content coming through, you can obviously look to put that in the system in lots of different ways. So.
All right, thank you, Casper. So, well, as we wrap up today's webinar, I hope that the sessions provided have given you valuable insight into who ArchivalOne is at each stage of the service of our all-in-one archivist solution. We'll be sending out a recap of everything discussed along with our contact info in case you have any further questions, or of course, if you're interested in discussing a project that you have in mind for us to help you with. So keep an eye on your inbox for that follow-up email. You can, of course, check out archivalone.com for any further information, read about our latest case studies, subscribe to our newsletter, and be the first to know about any latest news or indeed any further upcoming webinars or conferences that we'll be hosting or attending in the future. And of course, we'll be in touch with the winner of our $50 Amazon voucher very shortly. So until next time, on behalf of the ArchivalOne team, we thank you for your time today and we wish you the very best. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.